जल्दी बिरयानी लाओ ना, बहुत तेज भूख लगी है। हाँ जल्दी से बिरयानी लाओ मम्मी, भूखा बर्दाश्त नहीं हो रहा है। 10 मिनट और इंतजार करो मेरे बाबू, अभी बिरयानी आधा ही बना है। अरे जल्दी जल्दी पकाओ ना मम्मी, गैस को और तेज करो, जल्दी पक जाएगा। अरे ये गैस कैसे बंद हो गई? लगता है गैस खत्म हो गया, अब कैसे बनेगा खाना? मम्मी भूख लगी है, बिरयानी लाओ। अब बिरयानी नहीं बन पाएगा, गैस खत्म हो गया। क्या? अब कैसे खाऊंगा बिरयानी? अब हमें भूखे ही रहना पड़ेगा मेरे बच्चों। मैं गैस लाऊंगा और बिरयानी खाऊंगा। क्या? कितना मजा आ रहा है बंदर भाई, डीजे पर नाचते हुए और पार्टी करते हुए।
मुर्गा बिरयानी भी पक रहा है, डीजे पर डांस करने के बाद बिरयानी खाएंगे।
मैं तो मुर्गे का टांग खाऊंगा, बड़ा मजा आएगा। अरे बाप रे, ये बिल्ली तो मेरी टांगे खाने के लिए बोल रही है। लगता है आज ये दोनों मेरा बिरयानी बनाकर खा जाएंगे।
ऐसे नाचो बिल्ली, देखो कितना मजा आ रहा है।
बंदर भाई तुम बिरयानी बनाओ, नाचो मत, मुझे बहुत तेज भूख लगी है।
अरे अभी पानी गर्म हो रहा है, पानी गर्म हो जाएगा तब इस मुर्गे को इसमें डालकर बिरयानी बनाएंगे।
अरे बाप रे, गरम पानी। मुझे छोड़ दो बंदर और बिल्ली, मुझे मत खाओ बिरयानी बना के। जिंकी चलो गांव में देखते हैं किस किस के घर में भरा हुआ गैस रखा हुआ है, उसे ही लेकर भाग जाएंगे। चलो उस घर में देखते हैं पहले। हाँ जल्दी चल चिंकी। अरे इस घर के किचन में तो गैस ही नहीं है, लगता है चूल्हे पर खाना बनता है यहाँ। तो चलो उस घर में देखते हैं, वो घर बड़ा है, जरूर उस घर में 2-4 गैस रखा हुआ होगा। तो जल्दी चलो देखते हैं।
बिल्ली हमने बहुत नाच लिया, चल जा तू अब लाल मर्चा लेके आ। इस मुर्गे को चटनी के साथ खाएंगे तो और मजा आएगा।
क्या? नहीं नहीं, अभी मेरी शादी नहीं हुई है, अभी मुझे छोड़ दो, परसों मेरी शादी है एक मुर्गी से।
अब तू हमारे पेट में जाकर शादी करना। बिल्ली तू जा मर्चा लाने जल्दी।
ठीक है अभी लाता हूँ लाल लाल मर्चा। तुम मुझे लाल मर्चा से खाओगे?
हाँ रे, ये यो 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 यो।
चिंकी वो देखो अंदर किचन में एक गैस सिलेंडर रखा हुआ है। चिंटू अभी घर में कोई नहीं है, चलो उस गैस सिलेंडर को लेके भाग जाते हैं। तुम घर के चारों ओर देखती रहो चिंकी, मैं चुपके से अंदर जाकर गैस सिलेंडर लेकर आता हूँ। हाँ जाओ, मैं देख रही हूँ चारों तरफ। अरे चिंकी इस गैस सिलेंडर में तो एकदम फुल गैस है, अब जल्दी उसे लेकर भागो वहाँ से। हाँ उठाता हूँ गैस सिलेंडर को। भाग चिंटुआ, कुत्ता आ गया, मम्मी बचाओ। बंदर भाई ये देखो, मैं लाल लाल मर्चा लेकर आ गया।
हाँ जल्दी लाओ, पानी भी गर्म होने वाला है। अब
लगता है अब मेरी शादी नहीं हो पाएगी, मैं आज बिरयानी बन जाऊंगा रे दादा। बंदर भाई और कितना समय लगेगा पानी गर्म होने में?
पहले उस लाल मर्चा को इस गर्म पानी में डाल जल्दी।
ठीक है डालता हूँ बंदर भाई।
बस 5 मिनट बाद जब पानी खोलने लगेगा तब इस मुर्गे को डालेंगे इसमें।
क्या? अरे माई रे, कोई तो बचा लो रे। बंदर भाई चलो तब तक फिर से नाचते हैं डीजे पर।
हाँ आ जाओ बिल्ली।
चिंटू भूख के मारे मेरा पेट दर्द कर रहा है और गैस सिलेंडर भी नहीं मिल रहा, तो खाना कैसे बनेगा? भूख तो मुझे भी लगा है चिंकी, अब जल्दी से गैस सिलेंडर ढूंढना पड़ेगा। अरे चिंटू वहाँ देखो, वहाँ पर एक गैस सिलेंडर है, लेकिन वहाँ पर तो एक बंदर और बिल्ली है और वो दोनों खाना बना रहे हैं गैस पर, और यहाँ हम इंसानों के पास गैस ही नहीं है। चल चिंटुआ चुपके से वो गैस सिलेंडर लेकर भाग जाते हैं। हाँ चलो। बंदर भाई पानी गर्म हो गया, अब मुर्गा को डालो इसमें।
My name is Sarah, and the day I found out what my parents had done, I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just sat there, completely still, staring at my phone screen, reading that bank message over and over again. Zero. The account was at zero. The $47,000 I had saved since I was 16 years old gone. Every birthday gift I never spent, every overtime shift, every sacrifice, vanished in a single afternoon. And the worst part? My own parents did it. Not a stranger. Not a thief. The two people who were supposed to protect me. They took my entire wedding fund and handed it to my brother, without asking me, without warning me, without even a sorry. And that day, I made a decision that changed my life forever. I cut them off. Completely. And I never looked back. Until they called me 1 year later, crying, desperate, begging me to come back. This is my full story. I grew up in a middle-class family in Ohio. My parents were hard-working people. My father ran a small hardware store and my mother worked as a school administrator. From the outside, we looked like a perfectly normal family. 2 parents, 2 kids, me, Sarah, the older daughter, and my brother Daniel, 3 years younger than me. But if you had lived inside our house, you would have seen the truth very quickly. Daniel was the favorite. I know every older sibling says that. But in our house, it was not subtle. It was not even hidden. It was simply the rule. Daniel got the bigger bedroom. Daniel got the newer car when he turned 18. Daniel got money for his college application fees while I took a part-time job at a grocery store to pay for mine. My parents never said out loud that they loved him more. They didn't have to. Their actions said it every single day. I told myself it was okay. I told myself I was the stronger one, the independent one. I worked hard in school, got a partial scholarship to State University, graduated with a degree in accounting, and landed a good job at a mid-size firm. I was proud of myself. And slowly, painfully, I started saving for my future. My wedding fund was something I started at 16. My grandmother, my mother's mother, had given me $3,000 as a gift when I turned 16 and told me, "Sarah, keep this safe. One day you'll need it for something beautiful." I put it in a separate savings account that same week. And every year after that, I added to it. Birthday money, holiday money, my own earnings. By the time I was 26 and engaged to my boyfriend James, that account had grown to $47,000. James and I had been together for 4 years. He was kind, stable, and he loved me genuinely. We planned a modest wedding, nothing extravagant, but something real, something ours. And that $47,000 was going to make it happen. It was a Tuesday afternoon in March. I was at my desk at work, finishing a client report, when my phone buzzed. It was a bank notification. I assumed it was a routine alert, maybe a small charge or a deposit confirmation. I unlocked my phone, glanced at the message, and froze. The balance in my savings account was $214. $214. I blinked. I refreshed the app. Same number. My hands started shaking. I went to the transaction history and saw it immediately. A single withdrawal made that morning, $446,786. The name on the transaction was my mother. I had added her as an emergency contact on that account 6 years ago, back when I was young and trusting and believed that family meant safety. I had never imagined she would use that access. I called her immediately. The phone rang 4 times and she picked up, her voice completely calm. I asked her what happened to my account. There was a pause, just 1 second, and then she said, "Sarah, Daniel needed it. His business was failing and he was going to lose everything. We had to help him. You understand, right? You're the strong one. You'll be fine." I sat in my office bathroom for 40 minutes after that call. I didn't cry. I was too shocked to cry. I just sat on the cold floor, back against the wall, thinking, this is real. This actually happened. My own mother took my wedding money and gave it to my brother without even calling me first. When I got home that evening, James was already there. I told him everything. He held my hand and didn't say anything for a long time. Then he said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I don't know yet. But I know one thing. I am not going to pretend this is okay." The next evening, James and I drove to my parents' house. I had rehearsed what I wanted to say 100 times in my head. I wanted to be calm. I wanted to be clear. I wanted them to understand the weight of what they had done. My mother opened the door and immediately said, "Sarah, I'm glad you came. Let's talk about this like adults." Like adults. As if she hadn't just stolen from me like a thief in the night. We sat in the living room. Daniel was there too, sitting in the corner, not making eye contact. My father looked uncomfortable but said nothing. My mother started talking first. She explained that Daniel's restaurant business had taken on too much debt, that creditors were calling, that he was going to lose his apartment. She said the family needed to come together. She said I was the stable one, the one with a good job, the one who could recover. She said they would pay me back. Eventually, I listened to all of it. Then I asked one question. I said, "Did you think about calling me first? Before you took my money, did it occur to you to pick up the phone?" My mother looked at my father. My father looked at the floor. Daniel finally spoke. He said, "Sarah, I'll pay you back. Promise. The business will turn around." I looked at my brother for a long moment. Then I turned back to my parents and I said, very quietly, "You didn't just take my money. You took my wedding. You took years of my work. You made a decision about my life without asking me. And you didn't even apologize. You called me strong like it was an excuse. Like being capable means I don't deserve to be treated with respect." My mother started to say something. I stood up. I said, "I'm done. I won't be coming back here. Don't call me, don't text me, don't show up at my apartment. I need you all to understand that this is not a fight. This is a decision." And I walked out. James followed me silently. We drove home without speaking. That night, I blocked all three of them, my mother, my father, and Daniel, on every platform. Phone, email, social media. All of it. Gone. The first few weeks were the hardest. Not because I missed them exactly, but because I had to grieve something I never fully admitted to myself. The family I had always wished I had. I had spent my whole life hoping that one day my parents would see me clearly, treat me fairly, love me without conditions. And cutting contact meant accepting, finally, that that day was never coming. James was incredible through all of it. He never pushed me to reconcile. He never told me I was being too harsh. He just showed up every day, steady and present, and reminded me that I was not alone. We scaled back our wedding plans completely. We applied for a small personal loan, used our combined savings, and had a quiet ceremony in May with 30 people, close friends and a few of James's relatives. It was nothing like what I had imagined when I was 16. But it was real and it was ours, and there was not a single moment of it that felt hollow. At work, I focused harder than I ever had. I asked for additional projects, completed 2 professional certifications, and by September, I had received a promotion that came with a significant salary increase. I was rebuilding not just financially but in every way. I started therapy in July. My therapist helped me understand something that I had been carrying for a very long time, that I had been trained from childhood to believe that my needs mattered less, that being the strong one was a role, not a compliment, and that the people who assign you that role often use it to justify taking from you. That insight changed something fundamental in how I saw myself and how I set boundaries going forward. Months passed. 6, then 8, then 10. I did not hear from my parents. I assumed they had accepted my decision. I assumed it was over. It was a Sunday morning in February, almost exactly 1 year after that bank notification, when an unknown number called me. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. It was my mother. Her voice was different, smaller. She had clearly been crying. She said, "Sarah, please don't hang up. Please." I said nothing. She kept talking. She said that Daniel's business had completely collapsed. He had lost his apartment. He was living with them now, along with his girlfriend and their toddler. My father had been dealing with a health issue, nothing life-threatening, but serious enough to reduce his working hours. Money was tight. The house needed repairs. And my mother said something I had never heard her say in my entire life. She said, "I'm sorry, Sarah. I know what we did was wrong. I know we hurt you. I'm sorry." I sat with the phone pressed to my ear for a long moment. I didn't feel triumphant. I didn't feel angry anymore. I felt something closer to sadness. Deep, quiet sadness for everything that had been broken and the fact that it had taken this much pain for her to arrive at those words. I asked her, honestly, "What do you want from me, Mom?" She said she wanted me back. She said the family felt broken without me. She said my father asked about me all the time. She said even Daniel felt ashamed. I told her I would think about it. I hung up the phone, and then I sat for a very long time in silence. James asked me that evening what I was going to do. I told him I didn't know. We talked about it for a long time, not just about my parents, but about what I actually wanted for my life, about whether reconciliation was possible and what it would require, and whether I had the capacity to do it without losing the boundaries I had built. I spoke to my therapist the following Tuesday. She reminded me of something important, that forgiveness and reconciliation are not the same thing. Forgiving someone means releasing the weight of what they did from your own heart. Reconciling means choosing to rebuild a relationship. You can do one without the other. And reconciliation, if it happens, must come with real change. Not just remorse, not just circumstances forcing someone to feel sorry. I thought about it for 2 more weeks. Then I called my mother back. I told her that I was willing to have one conversation, in person with James present, but that I had conditions. No pretending the past didn't happen. A genuine, full apology from everyone involved, including Daniel and my father. A written acknowledgement of the debt with a realistic repayment plan. And going forward, I would not be treated as the family safety net. I would not be the strong one who absorbs everyone else's failures. I would be treated as an equal, or I would not be present at all. My mother agreed to everything. We had that meeting. It was uncomfortable and emotional and honest in a way our family had never been before. My father cried, which I had never seen in my entire life. Daniel apologized without excuses. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. I want to be clear, I have not fully reconciled. We are in what I would call a cautious, supervised rebuilding. I see them occasionally. I keep my boundaries firm. The trust is not back. It may never be fully back. But I am no longer carrying hatred, and I am no longer pretending everything is fine either. What I want you to take from my story is this: being the strong one is not a reason for people to take from you. Your love for your family is not a blank check. And walking away from people who hurt you, even if they are blood, is not cruelty. Sometimes it is the only language they will ever understand. I am Sarah. I rebuilt my life, my marriage, and my sense of self on my own terms. And I am still standing. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you have a story of your own, I'd love to hear it in the comments below.